Hello and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. My name is Joris and today I am here with the fifth and final video of my series about investing in the world with European UCITS ETFs. And as you can see, it's going to deal with the factor ETFs. And you know by now, if you looked at the previous 4 videos, that I'm discussing 32, including 6 ETFs that have double currencies on the 6 stock exchange. So that's why I'm putting here +6. But in fact, it's 32 tickers, so that stays the same. And they all invest in companies from all over the world. They are based in Europe, so UCITS ETFs. They distribute the dividend, of course, because it's my channel, of course, and they are not synthetically replicated. If you know of any other European-based ETF that I missed, please comment it in the comments section down below. Put in the ticker or the ISIN code, that would help me out a lot. And for my EU series, I got some great additions for my series in 2026, and I hope this will be the case as well for my series of World UCITS ETF in 2026 as well. So if you have additions already, thank you for that, and I will see you in the comment section down below. This is the last video of the series, and I'm going to discuss 5 factor ETFs. And one is actually the Islamic ETF from iShares that I dealt with in one of my previous videos, in which I talked about 3 Islamic ETFs that provide a dividend. And I'm including it, and not only because I think a factor with religion is also a factor, and I also want to make up for the fact that I didn't mention in my previous video that receiving a dividend in the Islamic world actually isn't that halal, and you should then do Islamic relief, and that is, you should donate the dividend that you receive to charities or to poor people, and you don't have to expect a reward for it. So when you then give the money away, you shouldn't think that you will get rewarded in a religious way, like you need to, like you would expect when you do other gifts, because it's a way to make up for the fact that you are receiving a dividend, and receiving interest or dividends is actually not acceptable in the Islamic world. So it's a bit strange that iShares is offering such a possibility to Muslims, but I also think that some Muslims, they don't care, and that's their good right as well. It's always up to you what you want to invest in, and how you obey to the religious rules where you are growing up into. But I'm not judging people. I just wanted to make up for my mistake that I made in my previous video, because there I didn't say anything about the Islamic relief. And one of my friends that is a Muslim, he came to me and said, hey, you made that video, but next time when you mention an Islamic ETF that provides a dividend, please mention the fact that you should add, that you should do an Islamic relief. So in this way, I hope I made up for my mistake in the previous video, and from now on, when I'm mentioning an Islamic ETF, I will always say that you should donate the money to poor people that need it, or a, a good charity that then spends the money in a halal way. So excuse me for the mistake in my previous video, and now let's go on with this video. So what are in fact factor ETFs or multi-factor ETFs? Well, factor investing focuses on one or two or three or four factors like the following. So value, selection of undervalued companies; quality, selection of companies with good fundamentals, and you also saw the quality dividend ETFs that I mentioned in the third videos. So actually that's also like a factor ETF. Then you also have volatility, selection of companies with a low beta or a high beta. It's possible. So not only the low betas are looked at, but also the high betas. The momentum factor, so selection of companies that show to be in an upward trend. And multi-factor ETFs try to combine then multiple of those factors. And I know this is a simplification. For details, always read the prospectus of the ETF on the site of the provider. Some sites like Just ETF or Extra ETF also link to the PDFs of the prospectus of the providers of the ETFs. So do your due diligence and make sure in what you are investing. And with that being said, I can go to the first ETF, and that's the IWVU, and that's the iShares MSCI World Value Factor. So the total expense ratio is 0.25%. And there you see that iShares can lower their total expense ratio because it's down from 0.30% before. So I hope that they are starting to do it, but so far, as you noticed in my previous videos, I was always commenting on BlackRock for not lowering the total expense ratio, but at least here they did it already. So you can buy one share on the London Stock Exchange for 6.84 US dollar. The currency of the dividend is in US dollar as well. There are 391 holdings into this ETF, and there is 136 million Swiss francs invested towards this ETF. It's a sampling ETF, and in the past year it is up 13.11%. The past 3 years it is up 43.57%, and in the past 5 years it is up 74.43%. So not a bad performance at all, and it pays out 2 dividends per year. So sometimes iShares does that, paying out semi-annually dividends, and it pays out in June and December, and the dividend yield is 2.67%. And you can see the last 2 payments that they did. Okay, in December of this year they still need to make a new dividend payment, but yeah, that's the information that I can give to you, and this makes up a dividend yield of 2.67%. Then we have IQSD, and that's the Invesco Quantitative Strategies ESG Global Equity Multi-Factor UCITS ETF. And quantitative strategies, it seems a bit strange, but that means actually that they are letting the computer make the decisions, so that no emotions are involved at all with making the investment decisions. And yeah, sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing, but overall I think it's turning out quite good. You will see that with the returns in a few seconds. So you can buy one share on the Xetra stock exchange for 66.18 euros. The dividend is being paid out in euros as well. There are 192 holdings into this ETF and 48 million invested towards this ETF. It's a fully replicated type, and in the past year it is up 10.49%, and in the past 3 years it is up 72%. And I'm going to check with the TEDIF one. So the TEDIF one for 3 years was up 50.27%, and for 5 years 107.65%. So it's outperforming that one for the past 3 years. And if I'm really quick to see whether or not there was one other one or not that is reaching those numbers, no, not at all. So the closest one after 72.43% is I think it's the Quantitative one. I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah, it's a Quantitative one with 50.27%. So they are outperforming the next one in the list of the 32 ETFs that I'm handling in this series with 22%, over 22%, because it's 50.27 and here it's 72.43%. So as of the 17th of October, of course, so the end of the trading day of Friday, the 17th of October. But it seems that the quantitative strategies that they are applying is really paying off. For the past year, you have better performing ETFs, even the previous one, the IWVU from iShares, has a return of 13.11%, so that one is outperforming this one a bit. But yeah, Quantitative has a return of 13.22% as well. But it's the third one for the 1 year performance as well in Swiss francs. So not a bad ETF at all. Not available on the SIX stock exchange, but maybe it's coming to the SIX stock exchange one day. It pays out quarterly dividends and it has a dividend yield of 1.27%. And here you can see the past the past 4 dividend payments that it made in the past 12 months. And then we have HWWD from HSBC, the Multifactor Worldwide Equity UCITS ETF, total expense ratio of 0.25%. And you can already see here you have 0.30, here you have 0.25. And that's perhaps why the iShares or BlackRock decided to also come out with a ETF of 0.25 total expense ratio to be one of the more cheaper ones. So it's a good thing. I like it. Hopefully it happens to the other categories as well. And you can buy one share for 35.12 US dollar on the London Stock Exchange. They pay out the dividend in US dollar as well. And you have 459 holdings into this ETF, and 669 million is invested into this ETF. And I really need to hurry because the Formula One is about to start. So you have a fully replicated type, and the 1 year performance is 6.30%, the 3 year performance is 42.26%, and the 5 year performance is 59.47%. So quarterly dividend payments by this ETF, and the dividend yield is 1.50%. And once again, here you have the 4 last dividend payments for this ETF. And then you have the LNG Gerd Kommer Multifactor Equity UCITS ETF. So it's K0 M3 MR. So it's a 0, not an O. Just to let you know that you don't search for KOMR, but it's K0MR. The easing code you can see here as well. So if you do type an O because you don't listen to my voice, because I have an annoying voice, I can understand that, but at least then try with the easing code. That's the correct easing code here. The total expense ratio, unfortunately, Gerd Kommer is not, or Gerd Kommer is not that cheap kind of guy, has a total expense ratio of 0.50%, and the currency on the SIX is Swiss francs. In the rest of Europe, in Germany, it's a euro, but on the SIX stock exchange you can buy one share for 11.27 Swiss francs, and you have dividend distribution in US dollar. I don't know whether or not it's in euro in Germany. I wanted to say Deutschland, but I need to think in English. So you have 4,065 holdings into this ETF. And this is what I wanted to mention in this video for sure about this ETF, and that is, how are you applying a multi-factor equity factor values? I don't know what kind of factors you are applying, but it's multi-factor. And then you are withholding 4,065 companies. How is that possible? How maybe you are choosing from 5,000 companies and then you decide to withhold 4,000. I think that's way too many. I don't understand that at all. And you only have 108 million invested into your ETF. Okay, it's a sampling ETF, but that's way too many companies for a multi-factor ETF. If you look at the previous one, that one has 459. This one almost has 10 times as much. I don't understand that at all, but that's just me. So it's a fairly new one, and in the past year it is up 7.30%. So in that regard, it is definitely performing good. So I have remark about that, but if you look at the performance, it's way up there. So we have to wait and see what it's going to do over the past 3 years and what it's going to do over the past 5 years. But it's still a fairly new one. So, but for the past year, it's definitely performing okay. It's paying out quarterly dividends, and the dividend yield is 1.50%. And here you can see the past 4 dividend payments of this ETF. And then, of course, the last one, the Islamic MSCI World Islamic Usage ETF by iShares. So I already mentioned the Islamic relief that you should do when receiving dividends from this ETF. Don't forget that. And I will not forget to mention that in my previous, in my next videos when I mention Islamic ETFs. So now I definitely mentioned it, and the total expense ratio is 0.30%. It's a Irish-based ETF, and you can buy one share for 56.21 US dollar. Dividend is being paid out in US dollar as well. There are 393 holdings into this ETF, and there is 676 million invested towards this ETF. Fully replicated type, and in the past year it is up 4.31%. The past 3 years it is up 29.75%, and in the past 5 years it is up 52.94%. It pays out 2 dividends per year in May and in November, and the dividend yield is 1.15%. So it's not that high of a dividend yield, so it's definitely something that you can donate away to charity or to poor people that need the money and can use the money in a good way so that you get your Islamic relief. And this is the overview of the discussed European ETFs with the dividends for European and Swiss investors towards factor ETFs. So I here underlined the thing that actually defines the ETF. So you have value, you have the quantitative strategies, here you have worldwide from I forgot it, and then you have the Gerd Kommer ETF. So it's a 0, don't forget that. And the only thing that I can say here is that they are actually not that bad performing. Okay, the Islamic one is a bit lagging behind, but if you look at other dividend ETFs, they aren't that bad. It's not that bad. The only thing that really stands out is the total expense ratio of the Gerd Kommer LNG ETF with 0.50%. And I still have 10 minutes before the Formula 1 starts, so I'm really happy that I'm within time. And with that being said, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Hit that like button as well. It helps out my channel enormously. Thank you for watching to this one, and see you on the next one on my YouTube channel. Bye.